Welcome back to As a Man Think. I am Deshaun Brown, Vice President of As a Man Thinks.
Courtney Venus, President As a Man Thinks.
Kyrie, Treasurer As a Man Thinks.
And hope you all enjoyed our last podcast, reflecting on Chicago. And we also want to just make sure we've got some donations and we appreciate it. We still need some more donations. We got an event coming up on November 20th. We're going to be supporting Atlanta. We're going to be doing some care drives and some care packages for the home. And we need your donations. And we have a toy drive at the end of December, middle and end of December, to be able to help two separate communities. But again, we can only do what we do because of your donations. So thank you for your donations. But please see the link and we'll share again our website to donate, but asamanthinks.org. All right, fellas. So what's on the agenda for today? I know part of our mission is iron sharpens iron. So what does that mean to you all?
So, man, I just want to take the time first to just say, rest in peace, Kwame. We lost a brother last night, and I was really close to him. I've been, living next to him for, over 6 years, and young brother, 55 years old, just out having a good time at the Alabama game, had a heart attack and passed away. So I got the shocking news yesterday. It's just amazing how alive a person could be, and then the next day they're gone. So it put a lot of things in perspective. All morning I've been thinking just about, we think about so many things in life that we want to accomplish, and we only here temporarily. We only here for a short time, and we don't know when our time is. It could be today, tomorrow, next week. You just don't know. So, it's just always good to do good to people and, trust God that he has your best interest and just keep it moving. But rest in peace to him and his family.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Cordy. I didn't get to meet Kwame, but one time we've actually enjoyed some of the things that he's provided us and shared, though. But yeah, shout out to his family. Rest in peace. And thoughts and prayers with you and the family. I know it's someone that you all were close to, so thoughts and prayers. But yeah, so many things we could talk about, y'all. Obviously, we'll start on a somber note. Being someone who was close to Courtney, someone's close to what we do as a man thinks. We're really just close to the community of where we are, losing somebody like that. But you think about life and what you have. I wanted to talk about accountability. There's a couple of ways you can be accountable. You can be accountable to your brothers. You can be accountable to your family, but you can also be accountable to yourself. So what does that look like to you all? What does it mean? Iron sharpens iron. Be accountable to each other. What is that? What is that? Even a reflection of somebody losing their life and the things that you have. Are you accountable to yourself? Are you doing the things you do from a health perspective? What does that mean to you, though? What does it mean to be accountable?
I would say this, man. I need more accountability, especially when I think about my health and I think about the goal that I have of how I would like to look, compared to how I currently look. I have an idea of the weight that I would like to be at. I have an idea of, things that I would like to accomplish in life. But the thing that I think about often is how disciplined am I and how accountable I am around those things. And I come to the conclusion that I need more accountability.
Accountability. I mean, I don't think that anyone can really look at themselves in the mirror and just say that they got it all figured out. They've done everything they need to do. They've accomplished everything that they want to accomplish, and they're comfortable where they are. Courtney touched on a few things. I can look at myself in the mirror and say there are a lot of things of where I feel like I need to hold myself a little bit more accountable. Yeah, when it comes to weight, maybe eating better, um, just holding myself accountable for different things that I want to do. But sometimes I'm not gonna necessarily say it's a cop out, but you you look, or for me, I can't speak for everybody. I just say, well, you gotta live every day like it's your last. And so I never know when I'm gonna die. And so for me, I don't wanna spend my last days eating salad and all that good stuff, and I never know when I'm gonna die, even though that's the part of that can definitely keep me healthy. So it's always a fight, and it feels like sometimes you can always come up with an excuse, or us that's still in the living always come up with the thing. I know we touched on tomorrow, and just spending time with family and stuff, and so you always come up with an excuse to not go work out, or you gonna do it tomorrow, or just a lot of different things that I don't hold myself to a certain standard to, which I know I should, but I think that's where the people that you surround yourself with could help out, and just y'all kind of hold each other accountable. I mean, everybody grown, but just for me, I know for sure there's a lot of things that I can hold myself to a different standard.
So basically you're saying you're gonna die anyway, so you might as well eat the pork.
I mean,
That's what you're saying.
that's what I say to myself. Yeah,
Okay.
ain't no reason to fake the funk. Yeah, I like bacon. Bacon be good. So then I say, well, I ain't gonna eat bacon no more, and I might not for 2 weeks. And then I see somebody else eating bacon, and there I go eating bacon again. That good old salty, ooh-wee, like that Wright's bacon. I tell you, it's something. But I know I need to change. But it's just different.
I will tell you this, as I look at this podcast right now, I got to be the blackest thing that is. I'm blending in with my shirt. Like the shirt is, if I don't smile, you ain't seeing me up in this podcast. Like you just see a black spot making noise. I didn't know I was that. Why y'all didn't tell me I was that dark?
Listen, I didn't even realize you had the black sweater on. You
Good
definitely could use
night.
the color there. Listen though, real talk. The reason they came up for me is something I wanted to talk about. I actually, and as you know, as a man thinks, we pray and we talk to other brothers and we kick it with people. And it's funny, man. At the heart of accountability, to me, is the word vulnerability. And for you to be accountable to somebody, it really means that you got to be vulnerable to allow somebody to be able to, you to be shared with something that you're going through with somebody. So I'm grateful because I got a lot of brothers who I talk with, I pray with, I sow into, they sow into me. And some brothers were being real about things that they were going through. And I'm not going to share what those things are, but some of those things are like every man goes through. Relationships with women, what I'm saying, whether it's, physically, whether somebody you see on your job or your business, or, at a grocery store, wherever it is, or it could be just, right now, social media is heavy, what I'm saying, and what you see on social media. So, I'm grateful because a lot of brothers are open and vulnerable, but at the heart of people not being accountable is that vulnerability. And what is so hard about people being vulnerable to really allow someone to be able to help them? Now I get it. You don't want to be vulnerable to somebody who either ain't going to help you, or you don't want to tell everybody your business. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody can hold on to the things that you share with them. But I feel like in order for you to really get true change, for you to overcome the things that you go through, it can't help that you have somebody that you can, know that you're kicking it with, you're talking with, you're speaking with, who might be praying for you, might be lifting you up, but really just checking on you. Hey man, how's it going in that area? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Did you go to the gym this week? Did you walk this week? You know what I'm saying? So we got to be able to have those things in our life to really help us get there. So what do y'all feel about vulnerability? What is, is that something that you're confident with? Something you feel like, no, I'm off base? What do y'all thoughts?
That button.
I'll text you on it.
That button on there. It's at the top of it.
Well, I was just going to text.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I think D, what you saying far as, being vulnerable, sometimes it's tough. You know, when you have been in positions where you have shared with people different situations and it came back to bite you, or people talked about you behind your back, sometimes it make you kind of be like a snail and kind of go inside. You don't want to share, but I found that there's a group of people, like my small little circle, that I will entrust with things, far as on accountability standpoint. I may not go out and blast it to the world, but I have a small group of people that I feel like have great intentions for me. They pray for me. They really care about what happens to me. Like I'm important to their life and they're important to mine. And those are the type of people that I try to keep close, as well as, share some things, and as well they can share some things with me. And I know for sure that after it's shared, I'm not going to hear it again. I'm not going to be just walking in the street and somebody say, hey, man, I heard you. I'm not going to hear that. So those accountability partners, I feel like I already have in my life. And, I would continue to utilize that. But, I think that in some people cases, maybe they don't have that person, that outlet, that person to go to.
For me, when you speak about vulnerable, I feel as though I'm pretty good with opening up to the select few people that I talk to. But sometimes just depending on what the situation is, just as a man, I think it's hard for me. I can't speak for all men, but for me to involve other people in certain situations. Because for me, even though it may not be the case, and that could be even within my close circle, some things I may not want to share just for the simple fact of I feel like I should have it, or I should have had it, or I should have done whatever the situation is, and so I don't share. Should I share? Probably so. Because if you feel like you do have that close network of friends that really are looking out for you, that really want the best for you, then they'll help you devise a plan, or maybe they can help you with whatever the situation is. So for me, I feel like for the most part, I do, but there are situations to where I feel like I do need to open up a little bit more. And I don't, and that's just, I guess it's just a work within itself. As I move along and as I get older and realize, hey, maybe I should do this or maybe I should do that, then I feel like I probably will. But right now, I definitely still struggle with just completely opening up.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% on the same part as you all. You have a selective group. I don't think you can be vulnerable with everybody. For one, not everybody knows how to handle that. Nor should they. Nor should people be, having to handle, everybody going around hearing about your business and what's going on. That's not what it's meant for. I think you got to have those selective few, like both of them said, of those who can, truly have a desire to see you improve or see you better. When y'all talk, they have, what you're asking them about and intentions on making sure those things are doing well. To me, that's what prayer partners are, brothers are, small groups are. And right now, a lot of them don't have it. And I think there's a fine line between being vulnerable and, having pride in what you do. And really, I'm a proud man, certain things that I don't want everybody to know, but there's certain things that, I know that in order for me to get deliverance from or help through, I gotta be vulnerable to get someone to help me through it. So to me, that's life though. I think if you try to hide things that you're going through, you never will get delivered from them, or you'll never really be able to overcome those things. It says we're overcome by the word of our testimony. So, to me, if you share, you got to share what's select a few, but as you share, you open yourself up to be set apart from those things that don't have control over.
I'll tell you this, man. I shared some pretty big things with people that I felt like was destroying my life. And I would tell you, it was the hardest thing ever to do. In the moment, when you're motivated and you're like, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of living like this, I'm tired of this, and then you're sharing it, it feels like you're getting relief because you're being open, honest, and sharing it, right? But I think it's the after effect when you realize that you shared whatever, and now you instantly go into withdrawals of what is this person going to think about me? How am I gonna, I mean, it makes you think like, is this person going to judge me? Is this person going to tell somebody else my business? Is this person, do they really, really genuinely care about what's happening in my life? Or is this just another thing for them to know that I'm not perfect and I got flaws and I got issues that I deal with? And it's tough sometimes because it's scary, because you don't want to be in a position where you slander, but you also want to be in a position where you let people in you can trust.
And I think that's where the careful vulnerability comes from, because you can't share it everybody, right? But also, I mean, we're not perfect. So, sometimes you got to know that what you share, like I got a couple brothers who, sometimes may not feel that they can share with me certain things because they don't want me to judge them. But they don't know that I might have the same thing they're going through. So we're both trying to be, I don't want to share too much because I don't want to be perceived this way. But sometimes you don't know the thing that you may share might be the thing that may help you. I got a pastor friend that I talk to, and we're praying, and I just prayed, really, because one of the things about someone who leads is, we always think they got it together. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they lead, they got it together. You know what I'm saying? They really, and they're vulnerable too. You know what I'm saying? They still got different things they can overcome, and then the anointing on them is higher and is greater because if something affects them, it affects a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a leader and you get affected, everybody that you lead is now affected. So who they gonna come at? Somebody who's effective as a leader or someone who's not? They're gonna come after that leader because they know they can affect each other. So, never feel like if, oh man, I'm in this high stature, I got this real astute, I don't really want to be perceived a certain way. Yeah, be very careful about who you're being vulnerable to. Because just understand sometimes when you are vulnerable, what you're going through, somebody else can bless you or bless what you're going through if they can be accountable, or you feel that you can be accountable to them and them accountable to you.
So I know, like as you were saying, Courtney, like sometimes, I think the build up to telling somebody something, and then like how you, I don't know, express yourself sometimes can be a way that may have you thinking like, I know for me, sometimes I may let something build up and then I express my feelings because I do feel the need that I need to communicate. And not all the time, maybe I put all the thought into the process of what I need to say or what I want to say. And maybe it may come out, I don't know, skewed, or maybe that may be how they take it. And so they could go off with the information I gave them and do something crazy. But I know for me, the communication piece is definitely key when you're being vulnerable, depending on who you decide that you can be vulnerable to, or even if it's nobody being vulnerable to, it's just information, like you said, that sometimes people that you may not need to deal with no more, and you communicating that with them, they may feel, I don't know, I don't know exactly how they may feel, but it may have you feeling some type of way because how you presented it. You know it needed to be said, and then how you said it, depending on if you were mad or if you were sad or whatever your state at the time was, whenever you communicated, whatever it was that you communicated to them, that's how they took it. And I know sometimes, a lot of times, I see people doing it through text messages, and like they can write a lot, and sometimes people may take what's being written the wrong way. And even though I'm being vulnerable in the moment and really expressing myself through text messages or whatnot, a person may read it how they're feeling, and they may be mad or they may be sad or they may not understand exactly what I'm trying to say. So, being vulnerable can definitely be a tricky thing. For me, again, I do say what I need to say, and then sometimes I don't necessarily think about how I said it or whatever until after the fact, which can be a bad thing or it could be a good thing. You know?
Well, I got something I really want to hear y'all talk about. I think it's going to start some controversy up. So, how accountable can you be to your spouse? And do you share everything with your spouse?
Hell no. I'm just saying, like, no. I mean, I don't feel okay. You know what? Let me not say that, because I when D asked the question, I ain't think before I spoke.
What I just said.
Okay, all right. I literally pulled a Kyrie, and I want to apologize to y'all. Okay, I apologize to them. So yes, I have confessed certain things in my life, and it was scary. It was uncomfortable. Would I say that I'm fully transparent and just totally open 110%? No, but I did confess major things that was very, very uncomfortable, because you don't know what's going to happen when you say whatever. You don't know the outcome of it. You don't know if it's going to be good, bad, indifferent. You don't know. And it's just a real scary position to be in.
Yeah, and I should have said how accountable. I'm sorry, I set it up because asking do you be accountable is a yes or no question. Of course, we all want to be accountable, but the extent is how accountable are we to our spouses? So Courtney clarified it, but I want to hear from Kyrie and I'll share my thoughts.
For the most part, I feel like I'm pretty transparent. Of course, there's not everything that you're going to talk about everything. Maybe that's past events that happened before you even got with your spouse or whatever the case may be. But I feel like I've been very transparent, and we have had those tough talks as well. Maybe not to the extent that maybe what Courtney and them had, but sometimes you just have to have, depending on how your relationship works, you gotta have tough conversations, and those tough conversations could lead to whatever. Somebody get mad, somebody storming out, somebody start thinking a certain way. Maybe nobody don't want to be with that person no more. Maybe they just want to end it all, whatever the case may be. So
you trying to tell me you told your wife about you wearing women clothes when she ain't at home? You told her that? You really confessed that to her? I know you ain't tell her that part. I know you left that part out, because when you was telling me, when you was telling me that you had that fetish, I was saying, man, bro, that's going to be a real tough one to confess. But if you confess, hey, kudos to you, bro.
Okay.
Kudos to you.
All right. Well, I see what you're saying.
Oh, my God.
Women's clothes and all that good stuff.
I mean, bro, you got Dwight Howard as your profile picture. I mean, let's just tell the community about it, Doc. Let's just tell the community about it. Show the community your profile picture that you got.
This is what social media do to people. And this is why you can't share certain things with certain people, because they just get on screen and start acting crazy. Of course, we got the speck back here. All you can see is the teeth in back there smiling. You heard the words.
Hey, but DH, look, bro, if you watching, okay, we know you made the comment that what happens in your bedroom ain't nobody business. Hey, live your life, bro. But if you want to donate to As a Man Thinks,
But
we'd be happy to take your donation.
we know,
You know.
we know where the Uber came, and Courtney didn't want to share it, but he was the one that I knew.
Listen, I'm waiting for you to say it ain't true. 'Cause I still ain't heard you say it ain't true yet. Dwight Howard ain't your screensaver, is it?
Hey, bro.
Man.
Hey, Dwight Howard is screensaver, bro. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro.
All right, so I share my thoughts on how accountable. So I personally don't feel you can be overly accountable to your wife or your spouse, and that may come off the wrong way, but I think you have to be. I think a marriage is a partnership, so naturally there are going to be things that you are accountable. But I've learned from other men that I've kicked with in the past that your wife shouldn't know everything that you got going on. You got certain things that you may deal with, whether it's how you make the money you want to make, you want to achieve some of the things you want to do. Y'all have to have a partnership. But I think there's certain vulnerabilities that I don't necessarily feel you should share with your spouse. And I just feel that way because I've always had men tell me, yeah, you got to overcome certain things. And I feel like a brother sometimes can help me to understand that or help me to get through that. Now, of course, I got a great relationship with my wife. We've been friends more than half my life. But I always feel like you also can't, there's got to be a certain vulnerability. She still has to see you as that hero. She still's got to see you as that person who can go out there and slay that dragon no matter what it takes. And you'll do whatever you do for your family. And I just think, again, you can be vulnerable, but in terms of certain vulnerabilities, I think there are certain things that, as a man, you have to be able to withhold. And I also don't feel like if you're going through stuff, like I've had brothers who've gone through stuff and be like, oh, I'm just going to tell my wife. And I'm like, well, what is that going to benefit her? Just because you're going through something and you feel like you should share it, it might give you benefit to take it off your chest. But what is that doing for her? What is she receiving? She's going to receive that you've, done this or you had these feelings about certain things and you just really feel like you need to get off your chest. But now she has to be the one that takes that. Now she has to be the one that holds on to that. And to me, I've just always felt like, certain things you should share, you shouldn't share. But, am I wrong? I don't know. I'm asking y'all the question. That's how I feel. I've always felt that way.
I feel like things of importance, things that can be detrimental to in a relationship or whatever, it's kind of like what you said, the fine line between being vulnerable, but then also the trust factor. Because at the same time, even though we know that we've been I don't think anybody's 100% focused on everything, but you want your spouse or your partner to tell you things, and so you should be able to be open, even if because a lot of times you don't want the wrath of what's going to happen, depending on what it is, and it may not even be that bad. It may not even be what you think or whatever the case may be. So, I found for me, because I have to be open, and I think you do get scared, like Courtney, which he always scared. So him being scared is like an everyday thing. So naturally, he gonna be scared to say anything. He gonna be scared to say whatever. So, but for me, just being scared, maybe nervous, but you have to be able to communicate, because if you don't communicate, then they find out, and then now you fighting a whole different battle. Something that you thought you kept, that you didn't really keep. Now she found out, and then now here you go having to explain yourself as to why you didn't say it, but then here you are, well, I was going to.
No, I got you there. So I got you. I don't mean the act of doing something. I got you there. If something happened, I got you. You got to get through that. I mean, do you go to them for everything? Like, we might be having thoughts. We might have drove down the street and saw this bad chick or something. We thought, man, I kill that. You ain't gotta come to your spouse and be like, man, you know what, I saw it, because it ain't no need to, right? What is the benefit of that? So I don't mean that. I mean, if you did something wrong, I got you there.
Unless you're looking for an argument.
Right.
I mean, I would say this, man. My grandmother is in her 90s. And one thing that she said to me is she said, some things you take to your grave. You don't tell everything. And when she said that, I couldn't understand. I mean, like what she, Grandma, what you really mean? And I'm like, Grandmama, what do you really mean by that? When you say, some things you got to take to your grave. And I think that in their time, and even in our time, but there's some things sometimes that happen in your life that is not always for you to run to this person or that person. Sometimes the best person to run to is God and be real with him about this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling. And, shawty up the street, she wink at me one more time, I'm knocking 5 from that, right? If anybody understands you, he understands you because he's the creator. He created you. And it takes it back to the place of, I knew you in your mother's womb. I know your beginning from your end. So if you know my beginning from my end and you died on the cross for my sins, and you know the things that I was going to struggle with, or the things I was going to deal with, you're the best person for me to go to. Does that mean that you shall continue in sin that grace may be down? No. Does that mean that you can't share something with your spouse or, be honest? No, that's not right. So I just think that, when I think about Kyrie and I think about Deshaun and I think about, how they feel about the subject, the thing I would say is at the end of the day, Kyrie's a lame. And at the other end of the day, Deshaun brought up a good point that totally makes sense. Kyrie is the one that runs and tells his wife that he's seen this girl at McDonald's and she looked good and he wanted to do something with her. Okay?
Man,
All right?
listen, y'all.
Knowing that he had no chance.
Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Again, As a Man Thinks is committed to making sure that we hear from your voices. So this is a big topic. Accountability is huge. We want to hear from you. What does accountability look like? Are you accountable to somebody? Are you vulnerable to somebody? How do you feel about sharing with your spouse? Is that something you can share? To what level? We want to hear from you all. We appreciate your comments. Kyrie, how can they get connected with us and what we got going on?
You can connect with us at asamanthinks.org, or you can find us on Spotify. Please like, share, and subscribe. November the 20th, we have what is it?
It's the care packages for the homeless. We're going to give out care packages for the homeless in the city of Atlanta.
He don't even know what. Let me tell you something. He don't come to half of the events. Okay. We made that known the last podcast. Okay. That's the reason why he gets stuck and he don't understand what's happening. But look,
I know what it was called.
Look,
when the event was.
Hey, come rock with us. As a Man Thinks. We'll see y'all next time.
Hey, no.
Nah, we done. We done. We done. We gonna end on that note.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Later.